Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial I'm going to show you a technique that I like to call the scribbled image effect. It's a nice effect that you can use on images or text to give it kind of a grungy look or just a kind of different look, and I'll show you what it is right now. The first thing that you want to do is find an image and open it up in Adobe Photoshop. This is an image I found off of a free stock photography website. But you can do this with any image that you choose. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, like I said, is open up your image in Adobe Photoshop and go ahead and make a copy of that layer. So if your layers palette's not up, which it should be, go up to Window at the top, down to Layers, and open up your Layers palette. And go ahead and make a copy of that background layer. So you can press Control J on your keyboard to do that. You have to have your layer selected first. Or you can just take that layer and click and drag it into the New Layers button down at the bottom there. And then you'll have a copy of your background. The only reason that I make a copy is just so that we have an original copy in case we make a mistake and we do something where we can't go back easily from and we need to go back to our original. Okay, so we have our background copy. I'm just going to call it dog. And then the next thing that we want to do is make just a blank layer and put it below the dog. So in between that original background layer, put the dog on the very top, and then this layer kind of sandwiched in between. And you can rename these whatever you want. We'll just call this one Scribble, since that's what I said that I'm calling this effect. The next thing that we want to do is we want to clip this dog to this layer. You wouldn't necessarily have to do it that way. You could make a clipping mask on that dog layer and erase everything and kind of draw it back in with a brush. But I like to do it this way just to keep kind of some separation between the layers here, and then you don't have to erase everything from the dog layer as well doing it this way. So anyway, with the scribble layer sandwiched in between the background and the new dog layer that we made, we're going to click on the top layer that's our dog image, and we're going to go over to the top right here to our options drop down, and we're going to go to create clipping mask. You could also press Control Alt G to do that on your keyboard. Okay, so you do that and it clips to this scribble layer here. And if you make your background layer invisible, you'll see that since this dog is clipping to a blank layer, you're not going to be able to see anything. But then, since it is clipping to that layer, it clips to anything that you have in that layer. So if you take a shape and drag out a shape, it'll clip to that shape. Or if you take your brush tool, which is what we're going to do here actually, and you draw a little bit with your brush, and now I made that shape, so I'm going to have to go back. If you need to go back, you just go up to Window, down to History. It looks like my history is already open, but you can just go back that way. Or you can press Control Z real quick. But like I said, or if you select a brush on your tool palette and just brush in a little bit, it should apply to that area as well. And I accidentally am back on my dog layer, so if you have to make sure that you're doing this if you just choose a different brush. Okay, so like I said, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll select my eraser tool. I already have it set up the way that I want from when I showed you before. Kind of click around the edges a little bit just to kind of make it so that there's no hard edges. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is just show you what this might look if I dragged it on top of a nice grungy texture or something, and it'll just show you that it does look nice. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take these two layers that I've affected there. You don't necessarily need the background for this, and I'm just going to drag it over on top just to show you what it might look like. Okay, so I've just got this texture here, and I drug my scribbled effect on top of it, and you can see that it kind of it looks like this on top of that texture, which is kind of a nice look. Okay, and you can just drag that around wherever you want. Pretend like this is a brochure or something, and maybe this is a column. Here's a column. Okay, so that's kind of a nice effect to embed images into a document or something like that. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial. I hope that you've learned something new. We went from this down to this. Okay, if you did like this tutorial, please click like on YouTube, and please follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. And thanks for watching.